Welcome back to Spectrum. The Pinellas County School District has long been known as being big on professional development. Teacher training courses covering a wide variety of subjects are ongoing annually throughout the county, keeping teachers up to speed with the latest tips and techniques. Recently, we were part of a visual arts training class at Countryside High School, a class designed to assist teachers with the new research-based rubric to be implemented on all levels of education.
The top three that you use every single lesson are critical thinking, reflection, skill, technique, process, and organizational structure. Every quality work of art absolutely, positively has to have those. The purpose of the training is to train teachers to assess and score their students' artwork, not only for themselves as far as when they grade, but when they put the work into exhibitions and when they do their district assessment.
Basically why I'm at this training is to learn about assessing student artwork, because when it comes to giving a grade for an artwork, it's really difficult for things, as Sue has been talking about, personal expression versus, techniques and whatnot. So I'm trying to learn the ways to incorporate both of those to give a student an accurate score, so that they're not asking me, why did I receive this score because mine is better than so-and-so's, and I can be like, well, because you didn't use these technical skills even though you incorporated personal expression. So just balance those out.
What we're going to really work on hard today is taking that lens off today and only looking at artwork for artwork. Not trying to figure out what was the lesson, not trying to figure out what was the grade. What I want you to do today is assume that, in elementary, we're going to give you later on some K2 and 3-5, because we know there's a difference, obviously, between a first grader and a fifth grader's work. So later on, when we get more in depth in this, we'll definitely give you that. But what we are doing today is we are just looking at artwork.
You mentioned someone from the institution said, I just don't really like black and white photographs, doesn't speak to my aesthetic or whatever. There's nothing in this rubric that says, do you like black and white photographs, right? So whatever criteria you're using to score, it has to be in the rubric.
It's difficult. It's not an easy process to tame your biases, as Sue was explaining. First you have to identify what those biases are. You have to, be honest with yourself and identify if you have a passion for a specific type of artwork or a specific medium, painting or printmaking, or maybe it's a color or a certain subject matter that you like or maybe dislike. Some people maybe don't know as much about the process of photography and assume that it's really easy because you click of a shutter button and you instantly made artwork, and equate that with the amount of effort and things like that. And when all is said and done, you really can't evaluate artwork based on processes and biases. You have to look for the artwork as it is, as a piece of artwork, and be able to evaluate it and align it with visual evidence that aligns with the rubric. So that's what we're trying to teach the teachers here today.
I certainly am a biased person. Sometimes it is difficult when grading middle school artwork, when you see a lot of the same, pop cultural things and whatnot, and you have to inform the kids that they can't copy those logos, they can't copy those things, and just different, stuff like that. So when it comes to bias, sometimes I choose things that I really like too, just as middle schoolers. They really like different types of things, and I really like different types of things. So I'm really glad that we learned about biases, and that, if you like one certain thing, you shouldn't just let that draw you to that student's artwork in a sense of giving it a better grade. We should look at it more at the technique and the skills rather than just liking it. So we don't really use the term, I liked it, because so-and-so, it should be more, well, it's interesting because this.
We all have such an advantage because what we are teaching, we have visual evidence right in front of us, and so do the students. So the most important thing is that you as a teacher are assessing every part of your period. And you've got to remember that all the time, and you have to communicate that to your administrator, that you're assessing, you're doing informal assessments as kids are working, and you're walking around and you're giving assistance. You're giving them feedback, you're giving them assistance.
Assessment is important when you're teaching students to be able to look at, are they really getting what they need to get in an art class? You know, because a lot of people have different ideas about why students are in art. So I wanted to kind of narrow that purpose down of what I'm teaching, why I'm teaching it, and how I'm going to assess it in order to respond to the students' needs.
The new visual arts rubric is coming out because we've been using multiple levels, K2, 3, 5, 6, 8, and 9, 12 for the last 3 years. And we found over repeated use, probably almost over 5,000 times, that we really didn't have to have the different grade levels, that we really could consolidate and we could use the same terminology in K through 12, and that all of our art teachers could utilize that. It makes it easier for teachers. It especially makes it easier for teachers to have professional conversation when looking at artwork and utilizing that rubric. So they really will utilize it, not only themselves, but more importantly with their students.
I'm giving us a 2 for that one.
Some communication of personal expression narrative. Yeah, some.
It's something a little different from what I'm used to, coming just recently out of college. When we used rubrics, it was a little different. This one's more of a standard rubric for everything, so I like this one because it does talk more about self-expression, which I enjoy, and it kind of puts those elements and techniques and everything else a little bit lower, but we do talk about how you need to use those in order to get up there. So I do like this rubric a lot better.
We concentrate a lot on technical skill. Is the work technically executed correctly? And we can spend a lot of time on that. And one of the beauties about the visual arts, and what we really want to also emphasize, that's just as important and sometimes even more, is that original and that personal idea. So we could do a beautiful drawing of a vase of flowers, but if it's just a vase of flowers and it doesn't reveal anything interesting or new, you look at it and you pass on. But when you look at a work of art that has something interesting that makes you want to take another look, and more importantly, when you start to learn more about the artist who created the work, something that's personal in there, those works become much more successful because a viewer wants to look at them longer. They want to know more about the work. They want to know more about the artist. So again, we're really trying to help teachers move into thinking about personal expression, originality, and to be just as important as the technical skill that they teach.
Next up, Pinellas County theater teachers display their skills as we take you to Clearwater's West Coast Players Theater for a special performance of The School for Lies. We will return in a moment, so please stay with us.